Let's talk about the comeback kids for a second. The Padres, right there, of course, in the division, they've had 4 comeback wins in their last 5 games, kind of the cardiac kids. What do you make of it?
The Padres have shown the ability to come back throughout this year. You mentioned 4 comeback wins in a 5-game stretch. They have 14 come from behind wins this year already. When the Padres are right, their formula is simple. The starting pitching and the bullpen hold the fort down, make sure the deficit never gets too large, and the offense over the course of the game just consistently puts that pressure on defenses, consistently puts balls in play, steals bases, goes first to third, makes aggressive reads in the dirt. And normally over the course of time, the defense will falter, the pressure will get to them, and the Padres kick the door down and bust through. Now, that's what's been their formula for success when they're right. They've also had some stretches recently where they haven't been right, where they've gotten more passive. They've been waiting for something to happen as opposed to making something happen. And more often than not, when that's been the case, they're only scoring 1 run a game, 0 runs a game. We saw them get shut out back-to-back games by the Blue Jays. So they're starting to get back to their best selves recently with these most recent series wins against the Marlins and the Braves. And now they've got to keep it up. They have a big stretch coming up here with 26 games in 27 days, including 14 games against the Giants, Dodgers, and Diamondbacks, and what we know is a very competitive NL West race.
Is there a reason for the passiveness? Is there a reason for, like, hey, if they're playing all these games, hey, I want to save my legs, it might be the time to bet against the Padres, because has there been like any correlation? Because at the beginning of the year, it was like Fernando Tatis was running like his cleats were on fire, and then all of a sudden it was like, I'm good, like I'm totally chill.
Yeah. We definitely saw a little bit. So in Tatis's case, he tweaked his shoulder stealing a base against the Sacramento A's. And after that, he has really slowed down. He has not been stealing bases like he was before. We know Fernando Tatis Jr. has had a tough time staying healthy over the course of his career. The only full season he has played in his career was the COVID-shortened 2020 season, mostly due to injuries and, of course, his 1 PED suspension. So he has slowed it down a lot. The Padres, in a lot of ways, they just kind of got away from it. We started seeing that passivity from other guys too. Some of it was injury related. Again, Jackson Merrill getting hurt, Luis Arráez getting hurt, Jake Cronenworth getting hurt. They really didn't want to risk anything. Now those guys are all back. It took them a little while to get back to that aggressive style of baseball they were playing. Again, we saw it in spurts, but not consistently. It's really since the start of their last series against the Braves that they've started doing the same things they were doing earlier in the year. And we're seeing success because of it. They've won their last 2 series, which, again, doesn't seem like a whole lot, but given how much they were struggling prior to that, it's a win.
Kyle, what about the bullpen? I mean, the bullpen, is it coming back into form? When they struggle, the bullpen was struggling also from the back end all the way. Jason Adam and some of the other guys were really having some rough goes, but now they've kind of got it back together. Is that what has to lead this Padres team pitching-wise?
It has to be a critical part of their success. You're absolutely right that when right, this is arguably the best bullpen in baseball. The Padres relinquished a lead just once in their first 34 games, and then they hit a wall. They blew leads in 4 of their next 7 games, and since then, it's been a little uneven. You mentioned it looked like they were getting back to form. We saw that was the case Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. This bullpen threw 12 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings, all close games where the Padres needed the bullpen to throw up those zeros in order to win. And then yesterday against the Marlins, the bullpen completely imploded. The Padres had leads of 6-1 and 8-7 that they were not able to hold. Jason Adam had a rough outing yesterday. Wandy Peralta gave up the go-ahead hit. So we've seen this bullpen be better recently and look a little more like what they were early in the season. But again, it's a little bit 2 steps forward, 1 step back, as we saw yesterday in the afternoon matinee against the Marlins.
Okay, is this a direct correlation to the fact that they have Randy Vasquez making starts, Michael King might be on the shelf, and Dylan Cease and Nick Pivetta are essentially your 2 starters that are supposed to hold this team down? Needing innings is going to wear out your bullpen.
Very much so. Right now, Michael King is on the injured list with shoulder inflammation. Yu Darvish was supposed to be back by now. He made a rehab start 2 weeks ago, reported feeling some elbow tightness and elbow soreness after that rehab start, came back to San Diego, played catch on Monday, but still has no timetable to return. And look, Randy Vasquez has done an admirable job. He's been pitching into the 6th fairly consistently. But at the end of the day, there's no question the Padres really rode their core 4 of Jeremiah Estrada, Adrian Morejon, Robert Suarez and Jason Adam Hard. At one point, they were all on pace for 80 appearances this season. They stepped it back a little bit, have been giving more opportunities to some other guys, Alec Jacob, Yuki Matsui, Wandy Peralta, but those guys just aren't as effective. So the Padres are still trying to find the right mix of bridge guys so they don't wear down their big four relievers. Brian Hoeing should come off the IL soon. We saw Sean Reynolds pitch well the other day. So they're still trying to find those other guys because Wandy Peralta keeps blowing leads, and Alec Jacob gave up 15 earned runs in 8 1/3 innings, had to send him down. So that's a very, very big concern and something the Padres are aware of. They just haven't been able to find the solution for it yet.
If you're a card collector or you'd like to get into card collecting, may I suggest Arena Club and slab packs, which means that you can rip the packs digitally and, of course, get the card that you want. It's also the most trusted name in the game, and I would rather rip packs these days on my phone than sit next to you and have you grabbing one of my physical packs if I was grabbing one.
Yeah, you don't need me grabbing your packs, because last time you grabbed one, it ended up like this card. So let's not have that, and that's why Arena Club is great. They send them to you in these fancy protectors like this Scout Braun card that we have here, and they'll come safe. They're already graded. Or you could do like I do and just leave my cards in the showroom and never actually see them physically.
Yeah.
But they're safe, protected, and if I want to sell them, I can.
Buy, sell, trade. They offer full transparency, showing every card in the slab pack with the likelihood of pulling each one so you know exactly what's available before you buy. Get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/FAL and use code FAL.
Luis Arráez, Kyle, game tying and go-ahead RBI singles to lift the Padres over his former club, the Marlins. He's killing the Marlins. I don't know. They should have probably never traded him. I mean, he's batting .364 against them since they traded him to the Friars. I mean, he's been as good as advertised, right? Obviously, he has batting titles in both of the leagues. Not a massive home run hitter, but man, he gets on base. Where do you think the Padres would be without him this year?
A much, much, much worse team. And I would say the same thing for last year. He has been a critical component of this Padres lineup since arriving in San Diego. Just that ability to consistently put the ball in play, spray singles all over the field. He frustrates opposing pitchers. And he also makes sure that Fernando Tatis Jr. sees better pitches in front of him. When a Luis Arraez is in this lineup, it completely changes the dynamic. We saw after that scary collision in Houston when he got hurt, the Padres didn't really have a great hitter in the number 2 spot, and their entire offense suffered because of it. Machado and Tatis started slumping a little bit. When Luis Arraez is in this lineup, it completely transforms how pitchers have to game plan, how pitchers have to approach this team. In a lot of ways, Luis Arraez, that trade has been the heist of the last year when you consider the Padres got him for no top 100 prospects and got the Marlins to pay his entire salary last year and take on Woo-Suk Go's salary, and Woo-Suk Go was quickly DFA'd. This really was a masterstroke by AJ Preller, and Luis Arraez keeps reminding the Marlins every time he plays them that they really did not fully appreciate him. I should say at least the new front office led by Peter Bendix did not fully appreciate his skill set.
By the way, they don't appreciate anything. That front office didn't appreciate. So, I mean, saying that's funny, Kyle, but like they really didn't appreciate much. I mean, except for getting rid of everybody and starting over and trying to reinvent the wheel. But other than that, are you worried about their schedule coming up, though? Are you worried about the Padres' schedule coming? Because it's about to get real for about the next 25 games or so. It's a real schedule.
No question. 26 games in 27 days. As I mentioned, 14 games against the Giants, Dodgers, and Diamondbacks. They have not played the Dodgers yet this season, so that'll be a fun matchup against them. But there's no question they're going into that stretch down Michael King, down Yu Darvish, with the bullpen maybe a little shakier, more inconsistent than you would like it to be. But what we have seen from this Padres team historically, and to a degree this year, this is a team that tends to play up to their level of competition, and sometimes they play down to their level of competition. So especially against the Dodgers, they always seem to get up for that series. They swept the Giants when they faced them earlier this year in a 2-game set at Petco Park. So we'll see which version of the Padres show up. But look, we know this team, when they're right, when they're healthy, they can play with anyone, and they love these primetime big game matchups. They get up for them. So I think they'll certainly be competitive, but there's no question they're not going into it at full strength. They really could use Michael King and Yu Darvish coming back sooner rather than later.
Kyle, before we let you go, AJ Preller is not afraid of making moves. He and I think Terry DePoto have like a wild west thing where they meet each other to see who can do the most. What are the biggest needs if the trade deadline was tomorrow? What are the biggest needs that you see for the Friars?
Left field. The Padres right now have gotten some of the worst production from left field in all of Major League Baseball. They signed Jason Hayward and Connor Joe with the idea that they would be platooning. They've already traded Connor Joe. Jason Hayward really struggled, was recently placed on the IL. Gavin Sheets, who has been one of the surprises of the season, has 11 home runs, a lot of them in big spots. He has moved out to left field from DH, and that's made things a little bit better offensively. Defensively, he's a little shaky out there. So the Padres would really like to shore up left field. And look, they could use another starter as much as when everyone is healthy, you can go Darvish, King, Cease, Pivetta. You feel really good about that front four. Darvish has struggled to stay healthy. And again, this most recent setback is a little bit of a concern. He has no timetable to return. When you talk about Michael King and starting pitchers with shoulder injuries, shoulders were always a little bit scary. So they would certainly like to fortify the rotation a little bit, but left field is their number one need, and they would certainly do well to shore that up sooner rather than later.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.